StreamYard is live. YouTube is live. So, all right. We're just wait a few minutes for everybody to show up. Then we'll get started because I know it takes a couple of minutes for them to realize I'm here. If anybody does show up, it's the dog days of summer. Everybody's out and about. I mean, today is in the high 80s. But yesterday, oh my God, it was up in the mid 90s with a heat. We had a heat index over 100 yesterday. Oh man, I stepped outside to take put the trash out. Oh man, I broke into a sweat just walking down the driveway and back. It was a hot. So yeah. All right, people are coming in. All right, so while we're waiting for everybody, let's introduce my panelist. The one and only New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right. Much cooler than you, apparently. So, shit, I threw a light thermal on earlier today.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. It's been rain and windy and raining basically in my area. So,
Oh, you getting sort of like the what you call it from the hurricane?
I haven't been paying attention to the news, but I'd assume so.
Yeah.
I just kind of check temperature every morning, see what they claim is going to happen, which is always a gamble. But at least that way I can figure out if I'm throwing shorts or pants on usually. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely hasn't been hot like that. We've had it's been real humid, uh, so it's been kind of sticky hot. But today was actually a little cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Today. I mean, the temperature there was about I don't know. It was about 95 with the heat index, about 102, 103 yesterday. But today it's about 85, 86. So I mean, it dropped 10 degrees from yesterday. So we're being affected by it too, I guess. But it's sunny as hell, and tomorrow the temperature is meant to go back up. I was just looking before we went live here. All right, let's see who was first in the room tonight. Tactical Fud was in, then Kingpin, then Jacob S. Two Live Move, Gizzard Gary. Who else we got so far? Raphael's in the house. So then that's it at the moment. And of course, you always got the lurkers. So I said, oh, well, I just want to let you all know that luckily my leg is healing up nicely. I didn't have to go to what you call it. I put antibiotics and shit on antibiotics and what in the hell? What in the hell's the name of it? Like Neosporin on it and that kind of shit, antibacteria or whatever that shit is, and stuff like that. Smothered it in it, and it's cleared it up nicely. I mean, it's almost all gone right now. So, thank goodness. So, you know, so things are looking up.
Good to
Mind
hear.
you, I spent the last, what's today? Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I spent 5 days here. Didn't even leave the property or I was outside and shit, but I didn't go in the truck and go anywhere for the last 5 days. Just stayed here. So I went out today. I had to go down to the dollar store, and I had to put some gas in the truck. So I thought, well, might as well do it today. So there we go. That's been my week has been very, very quiet, and it's the way I like it. Nobody's bothering me. You know, it's great. Watching what I want on television, taking a nap when I want. You know, life's good. For what it, you know, for I mean, I got all my needs covered. Now my wants is a different thing altogether, but you know, you know how that goes. So anyway, what I was going to talk about. Oh, and in a little while, today's the day I do the drawing for the quiz, and what you call it? I got a couple of more entries. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got an extra contestant today. Normally I only be, you know, I've only been getting 2 or 3 of you, but today I got a new person entered it last week. So, you know, just wanted to say. So we do the drawing later on, and I got a new question for the quiz. So there we go. Anyway, what I was going to mention here? Oh yeah, I had a question. You know, if you actually get in it, I would imagine. I think we've talked about this before, but if you get into the situation where you have to defend yourself, oh, excuse me. I mean, I want to think that I'll be able to handle the situation. I mean, I've had, you know, I've had some training early on and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, when the time actually comes, if it ever comes, am I going to be able to do it, or am I going to freeze? You know, I mean, I've been thinking about that lately, and why I'm thinking about it kind of bothers me that I'm thinking that. You know, because I've always thought, yes, I can do what I have to do. But in these last few days, well, last week or so, I've been thinking, can I? And I was debating, I was wondering why I was bringing that on. So, I don't know. Did I tell you I've gone back to carrying right-handed again? You know, because I don't know if did I tell you guys about everybody knows my left hand isn't what it used to be ever since I heard it. Although, what was it, back in 2016, was it, 17? When I heard it and they had it all pinned up. I don't know if I was on YouTube then, but it was all pinned up I had pins going into actually, you can't see it really, but there's a hole in my wrist where there was a pin holding my hand straight out, and there was a pin on this side, and this was all sitting in a sort of like a flat piece of. It was a piece of metal actually that my hand was sitting on, but it was pinned here, and I couldn't move it because of all the damaged tendons and cartilage, or whatever you call it, inside. But I think everybody knows this. But I lost about 25% use of this hand. And that's why when I hold a gun one-handed, that I can't hold it steady. It like if I'm using the laser and I shoot, you can see it. I mean, even without the laser, if I'm just looking down the sights, it's moving. It's moving. I mean, I'm not talking just minute. It's moving quite a lot. Because if I use 2 hands, then I can hold it steady. But with my right hand, I can pull it and do it one-handed. You know, so I decided to go back to carrying right-handed. But I've gone to I don't know, outside the waistband sort of would you call it a cross draw outside the waistband. So it's almost like an appendix carry, but it's on the outside. I have it my big old gut here. I have it. Actually, it's just sitting, just yeah, sort of like appendix way. Just my actual holster is sort of like just on where your zipper is. It sits just to the right of that. The holster does, so it's almost appendix. But and I just wear my shirt over the top, and it, if people notice it, nobody says anything because guns are, it's friendly around here. Nobody worries about it. But I started carrying it there for the simple reason I'm falling apart, guys. I really am. But the reason that I carry it there now instead of back here is going back here and pulling a gun out. I can't do it. My shoulder. I can't. I mean, I can only raise my hand up my shoulder up that high, my right arm. I can get it up higher if I push it, but the actual just do it on my own. I can only get it up there. So it makes it hard to draw, but if I put it there, I can draw it out. See, you got to learn when you get old, you got to, when your body starts failing on you, you got to come up with these alternatives to make it work. So that's what I'm doing now. But is that what made me start thinking that when a time comes, you're not gonna. I mean, really.
Are you talking physically or mentally?
Mentally.
Okay.
If you're faced, somebody is attacking you, or is trying to do harm to you.
Yeah.
That's what we carry for.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know. I'm lost at why you would wonder why you would mentally have a problem. I mean, whether there's a gun involved or not, if you're getting attacked, it's only human. It's natural to defend yourself. At least to my knowledge. I don't care if you're supposed to or not. That's you do. You're supposed to, defend yourself. You're not a freaking punching bag. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's been proven that human beings either they got a fight or flight response.
Yeah. Some people just hit the floor and become a punching bag or whatever. But I thought if you were carrying it, I don't know. I would assume.
I'm assuming that because I've carried
not a person like that.
No, I don't think I am too. That's why I can't. That's why I'm wondering why all of a sudden I'm starting to. That's crossed my mind lately.
Well, have you ever been attacked or jumped or, assaulted, mugged, anything like that? Have you? I mean, I'm sure at least back in school you've had to defend yourself.
Oh yeah.
So what'd you do in those situations? Did you fight back, or did you just
back a couple? I mean,
a
couple of times I lost, but I fought back.
Yeah, well, you still fight back. You just you don't give it to them. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's that's the same. To me, it's the same mental thought process. So
it is. I guess the difference is I'm thinking. I guess it is. I've done the training. I do the practice. I mean, I guess it's pinpointed down more is if you got to. I mean, when I say fright freeze, is actually pulling the trigger.
Okay.
I guess that's what it comes down to. Why all of a sudden I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Why?
Yeah,
I don't.
Wondering too, because you're supposed to think about that before you buy guns. So,
Yeah, I know. I
But,
mean, normally, I mean, during when I bought the guns and when I did all the training and talking to you guys, yeah, I don't think I'd have. I keep telling myself, or I believe, and I believe that I won't have an issue doing that, even if they, I mean, I like to put it, even if even if I'm on the losing end, at least I've gone down trying. You know, I don't want to go down without even trying. I guess, does that make sense?
yeah,
You know,
totally, totally. I mean,
and
yeah,
why that's crossing my mind now, I do not know. Maybe it's just the phase I'm going through. I don't know. Maybe I
maybe.
read something or watched something that clicked inside my brain, my subconscious or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I think, I mean, I believe I'd be able to do it. But I'm having this second guessing myself. I guess maybe I shouldn't be sitting indoors for 5 days watching YouTube TV shows by myself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Like I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean? Where I have to do it. But
Yeah.
I definitely, I got no problems doing it. If it comes down to them or me, that's to me that's not it's not much to think about in that sense. So, but it's I really hate to be put in that, to have to make that choice. So, but again, you know, situations could be different. Our physical capabilities are different. I mean, and maybe it's not an instant lethal response. Honestly, in a lot of cases, I'm not even going to think of my gun, to be honest. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, obviously, other people it's the other way around. They feel, maybe you do, your physical condition, I can't take a hit. So I'm just,
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the
I'm just
reason.
going
I
to
mean, that was
defend
one of the
myself with
reasons.
my firearm, which, I think you should be really disabled if you're taking that route. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, you should be able to, the average person should, you know, it should be justified, not just you were scared and threats were made. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, I mean, just because some able big guy starts calling me an asshole and yelling at me because I stole his parking spot or some shit. No, I mean, I might want to pull my gun and shoot the fucker to shut him up, but I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I kind of hate that side of it where I think, some people are just pussies and they get a gun and feel strong and, not get their ass kicked, apparently. I don't know. So,
yeah,
and that's just wrong because those are the type of people that want to run around starting shit with people, using their gun like their mommy to try to
yeah.
save the day. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
I don't think it's going to happen at
Those
my
people
age.
have a problem.
Because I mean, I don't frequent places really that you know that fights are going to happen. But you know what I'm saying? If I got into it, I mean, at my age, I doubt if I will. But if you actually started, for argument's sake, if you're in a bar and you're having a good time or whatever, and somebody shoves you and you shove them back, then you go to fisticuffs. I ain't going to pull a gun. If I get my ass whipped, I get my ass whipped. You know what I'm saying? But but then now if he grabs a chair or grabs a bottle and and breaks it and tries to stab me with it, then it's a different story. But in a standard sort of fight, I ain't gonna pull my gun just to prove that I got one. You know, but as I
Well,
said, it might.
some people use it like a safety blanket or something.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's ideal in a sense. So, it's not a threatening tool to wield whenever you want to feel right or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? To
Oh
end a
yeah,
conversation or discussion or whatever. So I don't know.
yeah.
It should be a last resort type thing. So, um, that's just my take of it all. But yeah, I was just curious. Basically, if you're speaking, you don't think you could physically respond quick enough or mentally make that decision. But I don't know. I think
No,
most people in
I
the
know
right
I'm going to be.
mind will try to defend themselves. You may
Yeah,
not want to be in that situation, but if you're gonna get hit anyway, you might as well hit back. I mean, you might get lucky. You
yeah,
know, like
yeah,
you might
yeah.
as well. I don't understand.
But
Don't.
it's the known fact. People like me who are handicapped and the stuff like that are the ones that get attacked most.
Right, and that's where I see that it different. You know what I mean in a situation like that.
Yeah,
Little old lady. I don't expect her to go hand to hand with a 18-year-old junkie. I don't. You know, uh, I expect to read about one less 18-year-old junkie in the news. So I'd like
yeah.
to, but that's a whole nother story. Well, not really, but
Oh yeah,
by all means, shit, I'll donate ammo to her. So deal with that problem. But there's when you get into all this, pissing contest shit over, road rage, parking spots with the average two freaking supposedly tough guy men, and then one of them wants to pull a gun. That's where
yeah,
it's like, now somebody just, turn into a giant pussy, basically. So I don't know.
yeah.
They can talk all that shit, and then within a split second, they were scared for their life and shot this other guy to death because they were afraid to get punched in the mouth. You know what I mean? Like that's that pussy stuff. At
Oh
least in
yeah.
my opinion.
Oh yeah. I mean, as I said, if somebody takes a swing at me, like in a regular fight type thing, you know, I'm not gonna pull a gun on him. But I mean, where it gets, I mean, problem is because of my disabilities, my limitations. If they take a swing at me and I go down, right, then they keep coming after me, like kicking me and shit like that. Then I might pull it because I have. I mean, I can't get up without holding on to something. You know what I'm saying? So then when I'm on the ground, I am totally defenseless, basically. So
Yeah, you would be like the scenario for you versus me would be different. You know
oh
what I
yeah,
mean? So that's as long as that's clarified. So that's all my thing is. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
so that's it obviously would be different. So
yeah,
yeah, because you don't want to lose control of your firearm too, and most people tend to forget. I think maybe due to movies or whatever, but most fights end up on the ground. So
true.
yeah, if you're going to be rolling around on the ground, there's a good opportunity your gun's going to become visible. And in a scuffle like that, there's a good chance your opponent might want to relieve you from it so you don't decide to use it against them. So that turns it into a whole nother scenario. And now you're legally in the right to solve the problem if
Yeah,
you have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, the scenario that's going through my head is get in a fight, throw a few punches. The guy slips one by, no, and I fall. I hit the ground. Right now, he doesn't come down there with me. He just standing he's still standing up, and he's putting the boot in, kicking the
Mhm.
shit out of me. I said
Yeah.
that's when I
Yeah.
might pull it just to stop him.
Yeah. Well, I would assume to think you probably should at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Plus, you were starting to fight, being the instigator, and
yeah,
getting what
yeah,
you deserve.
yeah. See, that could go against you if you're instigating it, but to me, I try to avoid trouble all I can. You
It's the
know?
best way to get through life, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to look for it. Eventually, some will find you. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I like peace and quiet. Right? Trouble just
mhm.
leaves me alone. So, oh, what I was going to mention. Besides that, there was something else I was going to mention. Damn it. It went. It couldn't have been that important, you know? But, yeah, as I said, I mean, I wrote it down when I was thinking about it this morning, you know? I'm saying, where in the hell is this coming from? But now that I'm talking to you, it's sort of, I think I'm getting back to mode. So I think it could be that I've been on my own for, today was the first day I went out in 5 days. Yeah, I haven't, nobody's come over, nobody's called me. You know what I'm saying? I've been totally cut off. I mean, when I went outside and take the trash out, or I was outside, getting something out of the truck or whatever, I see the neighbors, walking by or driving by, but nobody's actually come over. Nobody's called me. So for 5 days, I've been totally on my own, basically. Maybe that's what got me that, because actually I only went down to the dollar store to pick up a few groceries, and across the street at the gas station, and I really didn't talk to anybody per se, but I saw people and stuff, and it was nice just to get out. Well,
I'm gonna put in my mind that you're a fighter, because to me, whether you win or lose, you should fight for yourself or others or whatever the situation is. So I've said this like in a dozen different scenarios, but whether it's you're gonna have a child with a lady or something, if she's not willing to defend herself or your child, like I don't think she should be a parent personally. I wouldn't want to trust my kid with her somewhere. If my lady was raped and I found out she didn't fight back, it would be a problem. Like, you might not win. They might kill you, but you better fucking fight. That's just me. Like, I wouldn't want a teacher that's not going to fight for themselves or their own kid to be responsible for mine for 7+ hours a day. There's a lot of jobs, even police officers like that, Navaldi or whatever, where, if you're not willing to get in it, you got no business in that position.
I agree with you.
That's just, there's a lot of things in life like that. I'm not going to shame you to death. I mean, I will a little bit, but, I don't want you responsible for any of my shit because you'll just give it away. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's, whatever. Money, sex, whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's just I don't know. I can't really work with somebody like that. So I'm gonna assume you're a fighter because I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, I am. Oh, yeah.
Like,
I am.
Even if you don't win, you should have at least tried. Like,
that's the way I've always
sometimes
been.
you can't win, but trying is what will get you to respect to survive the situation later.
Yeah. I mean, even in, growing up, you just had school. Even when I was I told you the story when I got into the fight with the guards that guard Windsor Castle. They were off duty. They whipped the shit out of me, but I didn't, I went down swinging. So oh yeah, I just don't stand there and take it. But I should have walked away from that one too. But I didn't. I was, young, dumb, and thought I was bulletproof. So, but
yeah, I mean, picking your battles is smart, but at the same time, and at a certain point, the people leave you no choice. You got to do something. So you can't just be somebody's punching bag.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I said it was just a thought that came in my head the last few days, and I just wrote it down. But then again, talking right now and shit, it's more likely because I've been on my own. I mean, as I've said this many a time, right? Being inside my head with, without without supervision is dangerous. You know. Yeah. Anyway, so it was just something that I thought I would mention. But
Well, hopefully we cured you of it. So
yes, I think you have.
yeah, it's a tough thing to tell somebody, to pull that trigger in a sense, and hypothetical scenarios or whatever. But I'd like to think, I my fear would be that I misread a situation or something. That's why you shouldn't get into things that aren't directly into you, and there's a lot of stuff to that. But once it's gone, it can't come back. So you hope you're
Yeah,
committed. You pull that trigger, you're committed. So
that's what I mean.
you
As the old saying
better
goes.
make damn sure it's worth it. But at the same time, that hesitation can get you killed. So it all depends
Yeah,
on the situation.
it does.
Uh,
But
yeah,
I mean,
I wish
hopefully,
everybody luck with that.
I don't know how it all is going to work, but even if you pulled your firearm and it stops what's ever going to happen, right? And you don't
Yep.
have to pull the trigger, is even better.
Yeah, but in
You
some
know?
cases, you can still get in trouble.
Oh yeah,
So, you know what I mean? So, depending on
but
prosecutors, what the situation, where it was there witnesses,
yeah,
so,
but then
it's iffy.
yeah, but then again, but where I was going with that is, but if you pull it, you better be prepared to pull the trigger if you got to. Don't pull it trying thinking you're going to scare somebody. You know, as the old saying goes, if you're going to pull the gun, you better be able to. You better be willing to use it.
Yeah, that scare stuff, I think, is where, people have gotten shot that they wouldn't have gotten shot if they first one never pulled a gun to begin with. There's a video going around about that right now on or the internet, whatever, where vehicle altercation, guy runs up to another vehicle in a pickup or whatever, and he's got his gun in his hand. He runs up and he's beating on the door and yelling and screaming. And then all of a sudden the guy raises like his hand up, like, to yell more or something, and the person inside the vehicle shot him. So,
Well,
he wasn't using that gun like a toy, waving it around, beating on somebody's vehicle with it,
yeah, I'm not.
being a threat. The dude wouldn't have got shot in the face.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know
Is
what I mean?
if somebody come up to me like that,
Yeah.
I might have pulled the trigger too.
Exactly. So don't run around talking shit with your gun out. That's not
Yeah.
what it's about. It's a tool to be used to stop a problem, basically. So I think at that point, talking's over pretty much. You know what I mean? You're in defense mode, not threatening somebody mode.
Yeah. Oh, Vanessa goes, as a teacher, my students are there for learning. As for me being responsible for their safety while there, question mark. It says if course, but I think she means of course. Of course teaching is not always just the subject at hand.
Well, I would think it's anybody, not even a teacher. If you're walking through a park and you see some guy, beating the shit out of a 12-year-old kid or something, somebody would say something. Somebody would say, I mean, it's what you're supposed to do. You don't just whip your phone out and call the police. You get involved in something like that. When it's clearly wrong or something, I don't know. Basically, it's like a human response. Either I don't know, you got it or you don't. I don't know, but you're not just gonna walk by and somebody beating the shit out of an old guy in a wheelchair just for fun. I mean, I at least I to me that I can't understand that, or watch somebody get raped. Like I can't understand you
Yeah.
know, you're
Well,
just gonna.
Well, I don't know. I
we got
don't,
another panelist here.
I don't know about rape, Rob, but beating old people in their wheelchairs is pretty fun, man. I felt like
No,
you was talking to
some of
me
them
when
might,
you were ranting.
deserve, the punch in the face, but this like shit where they're just running around punching old vets or knocking out people and taking their phones and like, I'm lucky that I haven't seen this because I'd probably be in jail in my state because it's going to be rage. Let me tell you.
Rob, you're getting hard in your old age, brother. You're losing all the fun in life, man. You gotta let kids be
Oh,
kids, Rob.
Certain
Let
stuff
kids
I
be
can't
kids.
do, man.
How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good, Rick. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You too,
Yeah.
Rob.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Or good to hear you, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So did you hear how this conversation started?
No, just a little bit.
Well, I was talking about I had this thought in my head, if if somebody was attacking me, am I going to defend myself? Was what I'd said.
If you were going to,
No, if somebody was attacking me,
yeah.
I mean, it's either fight or flight, And I was
we
thinking,
can't.
hey, go on.
You can't give up, brother. You gotta fight.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But why I brought it up was I can't understand why that came into my head. I mean, the reason. I got, as everybody knows, when I got injured at work and became disabled, it made me think that, hey, I'm not like I used to be, and that's what made me got into guns really, and to start carrying to protect myself because I knew I wasn't like I used to be. So I've always been ready to do it if I had to. And I've always been, as I was telling Rob earlier, even growing up as a kid, I got into fights at school and that. Even when I left school, I got into fights and shit. I didn't win them all, but at least I didn't stand there and just get the shit beat out of me. You know what I'm saying? At least I was trying. And I think that's the way. I think that's what would happen if somebody's attacking me, literally trying to do me bodily harm. Real physical bodily harm, not just sort of like a, couple of punches to the face type thing. It's hard to explain because every situation's different. But
I got the cure for you right now, Rick.
What's that?
Go get you a mean, ugly wife, and that's more protection than even open carry. Nobody will mess with
you. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Anyway, we got through that topic anyway. I think I'm cured. I think as I was telling Rob, I think what happened was, I haven't seen anybody, haven't talked to anybody for 5 days. I've been in this house. Today was the first day I went out. In 5 days. I think I said, being unsupervised inside my head is dangerous.
Oh, brother.
So
you gotta get out. Can't trap yourself in your own home, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
Can't trap yourself in your own mind either.
Yeah. But then again, it's there's reasons why. One is, all I'm going to say is Bidenomics hasn't helped the old finances. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I don't know how Democrats are well off and Republicans aren't, but but I'm not getting into politics. I got I don't get paid until my next disability check comes this Friday. So it's been another. I had 2 5-week months in a row. and it's so I've had to budget my money. That's why I haven't gone anywhere or spent anything, you know. But I finally got through all my groceries, so I had to go buy some more today. See, so I did have money. It's just I just didn't want to spend it. So there we go. What was the next thing on my list here? Oh yeah. I mean, now this might shock all of you.
Hang on, Rob.
You know, as I said, I've been in the guns not as long as you guys, but only since about 2016. Right? So what's that? 8 years ago?
8.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've only been guns in 8 years, but you know, I have never, ever been to a gun show. Are they worth going to?
Gun show, like where they're for sale, like on the table.
You know, where there's vendors in there selling guns, or you know,
private
like
people.
Rob selling off his guns because he lives in New York. You know,
Well, you're. I'll just say you're really not missing too much, because I've been to plenty and never bought a single thing.
okay.
You don't come across good prices. Now, like the Wanamaker show, that's different. But like your local little gun shows, I've never bought anything. The prices are just too high, and just there's never good stuff. Like the little small local ones really ain't that big deal if you ain't never been to one. You need the big timer, something that's got some big draw to it. The local stuff, you're just kind of having a good time in the afternoon is all. You're not really missing out on the world's greatest deal or nothing.
Oh, okay. Is that how you feel, Rob?
That he basically summed it up perfectly, in my opinion. So I would even go farther and say it's kind of a goddamn ripoff, because at least around here, you usually got to pay for park, pay to get in, and everything in there is jacked the hell up. And most of the vendors look at me with a stink eye. So I don't know if I look like the normal customer to them, or you know, they think I'm a Fed, or what the hell they're thinking.
They're more like you're a crook, or
but I've never bought. Don't think I've ever bought a damn thing except maybe a bag of beef jerky or something. I've just, everything is overpriced. Like, you know, doesn't matter what it is. Box of 22 shells, it's more than at the store. You know,
you know, that's how I see it. Everything I ever looked at was interested. I could have went to my local store and bought it cheaper.
Yeah,
and they don't want to knock off a penny. There's stuff like used. You know, I've bought a few things here and then. You know, you'll grab like an ammo can or you know a cheap little pocket
like that.
But to go there to look specifically for a gun, no. Maybe go there to sell one would probably be your best bet. But they usually get you kind of like a scam. It'll be like $15 or $20 to get in, right? But if you join the NRA for 25, you can get in for free. Plus, we'll give you a hat. That's kind of like the scam coming right in the door. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was missing out on something. You know.
I've really over the years I've never seen like one like good price deal at a gun show that like I regretted not getting. It's always left empty-handed or like their prices are crazy or something, you know.
Yeah. And actually, when you walked out, you actually lost money because you had to pay to get in.
yeah. It's like kind of like at an afternoon thing where you just want to kill some time, maybe sightsee, look at, you know, see what they got, stuff like that. That's what it seemed to be to me. You know, that's what I would expect now if I was going to go to a show. I really wouldn't, even having money in my pocket, I wouldn't expect to see something I wanted and be willing to pay more for. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So
it's good though. Like if you got children, got a son or daughter, whatever. If you got some kids, maybe you know it's good to take them and just let them walk and see different stuff. But shopping, you're not missing out on anything. It's more of just like a afternoon, few hours to kill some time. Just don't you don't really expect to buy anything. And if you'll notice when you're at them, nobody else is buying anything either. And these guys that set up tables, they're like running from town to town. They're not selling anything. The same guns have been fondled and handled by 100 people, get banged around, getting on display and travel and everything. There's really nothing all that great at them. Like, not really.
I've seen a lot of the smaller stuff get sold. Magazines, a box of ammo that somebody couldn't find, or grips, or an old stock or something like that. Parts and accessories seem to sell a lot more than guns, from what I've seen. So maybe if you're looking for something specific and you're willing to pay $20 extra or whatever for a part, or a certain grip or whatever, then maybe that it's something to look into if it's something like that. But you might find something there that you were trying to get. But if you're looking for a deal, I wouldn't bother.
All right, so I haven't missed anything. So
Nope.
that's good. That's good. That's good. So, I was totally off topic, but why it popped into my head, I don't know. But I was I'm getting ready to do an oil change on my truck. That's what it comes down to. But
Earl?
my truck, because I looked at the mileage the other day. My truck has 135,000 miles on it.
Nice.
And that's true miles. And it's a 97.
Mm-hmm.
So that engine has got plenty of life still in it.
Mm-hmm. Mine's a 99, and I got like 130, but hasn't been drove in years. It's been parked over its life more than it's been drove.
Yeah.
It's still at 130.
Yeah, but as you all know, I do maybe 10 miles a day, if that.
I'm not so much worried about the motors; those are good motors. But
my body,
my interior, and my seats and all my stuff, is low
I try
mileage.
to keep my interior half-ass decent, but I think the body's going to rust out before my engine breaks down.
Yeah, I got rust on the bed.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
Front half's aluminum, I think.
Something to keep in mind when you're talking about longevity and vehicles sitting and time frames and stuff. Even if vehicles do have a good reputation and getting high mileage or whatnot, remember at certain time periods, there's still services that should be done. Like, brake fluids, they acquire moisture over time. There's, your hoses, when they heat, cool, eventually the hoses get weaker, create problems. Your coolants should be changed. So I'm not trying to, say you got problems, but I'm just stating, if you haven't done some of that stuff, it might be stuff you want to look into if you're trying to keep things going.
I do that kind of stuff.
Okay. Because a lot of
not on a
big shit when it breaks.
Not on a regular basis, but I do it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
man, I got just a couple stories for you.
Yeah.
I've been working on my first Ram truck, a Dodge truck. And I'm not a Dodge guy. I'm a Ford guy. I know Chevys. I grew up a Chevy guy and then switched to a Ford guy. I know them. I've never been a Dodge guy my whole life, right? Well, the last couple months here, I've been working on this Dodge Ram. And I'm afraid to say I like it. It's built really cool. Like underneath, like the suspension, the parts, the motors and stuff, it's built pretty decent. There's plenty of room to work on everything I've dealt with. I haven't had anything that was like hard to get to or funny bolts or nothing. It's been like easy as a dream to work on. Little tall, you know, it was 4x4, but like everything I've had to do has been simple and easy. I don't like the front upper shock mounts. It's got like a shock mount for a strut, even though it's just a shock, and I got to change them because they're squeaky. That looks to be a bitch, but everything else has been pretty easy on this Dodge. Parts have been fairly okay on price, but like it's been easy to work on. No complaints, no cuts, no busted knuckles, no nothing on this truck, man. And it runs pretty good. It's got for a big heavy 4x4 pickup truck, it moves a little better than you would expect. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed with the Dodge Rams. I might get me one, or hopefully I drive this one a lot more or whatever.
And
Well, you were a Ford guy, Jason. So I mean, you know, it's not saying a lot that it's a little better, but you know, there's
Well, I'll
still
just tell you,
past that. You know what I mean? You're getting there.
I'll just tell you, Fords and Chevys, as much as I love my Fords, man, they are just too fucking stupid. High tech, this, that, hoses, wires, boxes packed in. You can't get to nothing. You got to take everything out of your way just to get to something. They're a nightmare. This Dodge is not like that at all. This is like
over rebuilt Dodge. That's what Ford stands for.
It don't have a shitload of hoses and wiring or shit all over it. Everything's easy to get to. I've been dealing with all steering and suspension and shit so far. Fucking piece of cake, man. Easy. Haven't had a bolt that was bad to get to or nothing.
Yeah, my the guy, you know, where I hang out with, where I go over his house and shoot and shit. He's a Dodge man, Mopar. He don't drive. He doesn't drive anything else. You know?
Now, Chris from the 740, he's got a Dodge truck, and it is like super sweet, but it's like a really high level with the Rebel. It's got every fancy gadget you can think of on it. It runs really nice, and it's a really nice truck.
Yeah.
This is like just your regular 4x4. Doesn't have all the like air suspensions and everything stuff in it, but it's a good truck, man. I've been really surprised.
Yeah.
Plenty of room to work on it.
I said to my friend, he's a Dodge guy, but his son needed a new truck, and his son found one, a Ford, a 2004 F-150. What model? I mean, it has every bell and whistle on it. It's a 2000
Lariat.
What'd you say?
Yeah, like a Lariat. A Lariat.
Yeah, it's a 2004, but it was during that period where I can't think what they called it, but Ford, for about 4 years, it was crap, and Ford finally changed it. Well, he got it, then he realized that it wasn't running right, and it was something that Ford, what these trucks were notorious for, and basically it was
spark plugs.
So he had to buy
spark plugs and cam phasers.
So he bought a he bought a reconditioned engine. My friend did to put in for his son, you know, and he said taking that engine out and putting it back in. He said, "God damn!" He said, "Ford makes it hard." You know, he said, "There's
Ford does."
He said, "There's parts on there where it's so bad where I can't think of the name of it now. There was a part that it had 4 bolt holes that held it onto the frame. He had the book. He's looking at it, but there's only 3 bolts in it because the Ford people who put it together at Ford factory couldn't get the 4th bolt in because everything else was in the way."
Yeah, I just had to do a starter on my van, and I had to pull the suspension with the front A arms off because I had to take the axles out. I had to pop my front ball joint thing, get the axles out of it, and get the axles out just to get the starter out. The starter was already alternator. The alternator was already unbolted from the engine. There was just no room to get it out
Yeah.
onto the ground from the engine bay. Had to pull the axles and everything, the suspension off of it.
And with this Ford that you put in, if you wanted to change the spark plugs, all of them, you actually had to drop the engine because you couldn't get to the back ones unless you
Ridiculous.
bought a special tool from
It
Ford.
is. Yeah, it is.
I'm laughing at you right now. I could change my starter in probably a half hour. Yeah.
Now the starter on mine, they recommended doing all this stuff. I was able to get it up in there and spin it around and change my starter one day without much of a hassle at all. But the alternator was just so big around. I was even trying to get the exhaust off and out of the way, and maybe I could get it out, and that wasn't even going to help. And they kept saying all along you had to take the axles out.
For the
I was
alternator?
trying, yeah, for the alternator.
Good gosh, man.
Yeah.
You can get to the engine, piece of cake, few little bolts, take the alternator off. There's no room to get between the engine and the car body anywhere to get the alternator up out of there. None. It's like twice the size of any hole. So right underneath of it, they used a 2-piece axle, believe it or not, in the front because the transmission kicks out on like the driver's side. So instead of having just one real long axle to the passenger, they ran a short one, then ran a carrier bearing, and then ran the other length of the axle over. And all of that carrier bearing area takes up the only spot you had, and the axles have to come out just to get the alternator out into your hands.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Chris from the
And to get
740,
that, and it's front wheel drive. So to get the axles out of the hub, you gotta unhook your suspension there. You know what I mean? To have the play to get it out.
Yeah.
Oh man, tell you what,
Ball joint.
if I do the next one, I could probably do the next one probably an hour though. Even though you got to do all that, I could go through it real fast on the next one, but it took a while on my first one. You know.
Jason, Chris from the 740 wants to know if you bought a Dodge.
No, just working on one.
Yeah.
New girlfriend's truck. So.
New girlfriend's truck. No wonder we haven't seen you around. So
yeah, that explains a lot.
That does explain a lot.
Who's she married to?
No one.
Yeah.
No.
Whoa!
I've changed my ways, man. This one's truly a real special girl, man. I'm living it up, having a great time.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Her first name, she doesn't have a nickname that's crazy, is it? Like, there's no crazy and then anything that follows?
No, man. This hey.
I'm just checking. Just small world. Just checking.
I know. This girl doesn't even live in my hometown. So she's not batshit crazy like all the women here. She lives an hour away. Everything's just great with this one. I've picked poorly in the past. This is like my best pick ever, man. This one's awesome.
Oh, great. That's good. That's good. So, anyway, it's nearly quitting time here. And got to do the quiz. Got to do the drawing. My question was, who was the actor's name, who Matt Dillon shot the beginning of every show? That's the guy I wanted. Now, the only problem with giving you guys the answer is I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Arvo Ojala or something like that. Arvo Ojala. I mean, that was the actor's name. And be honest with you, that's his most famous part. I also think he was a writer too. Most of his work in life, he was a writer or something. But he was that cowboy that Matt Dillon shot in the opening credits. That was the actor's name I won. So I had a couple of entries. So let me hit my button here to pick the winner. Oh my God. I had a new entry and the new entry won. Jesus Christ.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Yeah. Only one guy. OL1 guy.
Okay. Congrats.
Yeah. So he's, I don't know if he's in here today or not. I haven't seen him. But he is the winner. So, yeah, it's already top of the hour, Jacob. So, he's the winner on that one. So, he won the swag pack. Let me write that down here so I can make sure I get it out to him. I got to contact him, get his mailing address. Said since he's never won, I don't have it on record. So, oh, he is here. Yeah, you won. Just send me your mailing address, email, in the next day or so, whatever, then I'll get it out to you. So, there we go. Okay, and the next quiz and the next drawing will be on the 4th of September, because that's the first Wednesday of the month. It'll be the 4th of September. And this is another easy one. I'm making these easy, hoping to get more entries. All right? This one's easy. This one, now it's kind of a morbid question, but it's easy. What firearm was used in the shooting of John Lennon and George Wallace? I want the make and model and caliber.
Same gun shot them both?
Yeah. Well, not the same
Yeah,
model.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the gun that shot John Lennon and George Wallace. I need
Saturday Night Special.
I want the make, the model, and the caliber. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And get
George
into me by
Wallace.
Wednesday the 4th for the swag pack. Now, I mean, with AI, you could talk to it and ask them, and it more like give you the answer. Even Google will give you the answer, you know? So, there you go. So, that's the question. So, there we go. We're got that out of the way, and it's 8:03. Damn, the hour went by fast. You know? Talk guns and talk a bit about cars or trucks. You know? So there we go. What I have talking about doing all that maintenance. I haven't done it. I'm going to have to start doing it on time instead of mileage because I don't do enough miles. It's taken me almost 3 years to get 3,000 miles. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me tell you this. Don't take my advice and like ruin your stuff. But I'll just tell you this: for many, many years now, and I drive a Ford, and I use only Ford motor oil though. But I drive well over 1,000 miles a week, and there's several years lately on several vehicles. I'll change my oil once a year, once every year and a half.
Damn.
So dude, I can run 30, 40, 50,000 miles without changing my oil, and my engines run perfectly fine. Never have any problems with them at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what made me think.
They don't leak though. But like,
you know,
I guess you're better off if it leaks if you're always putting fresh oil in it.
Well, mine doesn't leak. I'm saying my engine doesn't leak or anything. But I said, it's be honest with you, I haven't changed my oil for 3 years.
I
I've been waiting to get 3,000 miles.
The van I'm driving to work every day, my boss gave it to me I don't know, over a year ago. I've never changed the oil in it. I have no idea when he did.
Yeah. So,
Shame to both of you guys. So.
okay, Rob, since it takes me so long to get to 3,000 miles, should I do it on a time basis instead of a mileage basis?
Technically, yeah. You know, if you're gonna follow like the book or factory recommendations, whatever, then yeah. It's mileage or time. Typically, is how most things are stated. So, due to different
I'll
reasons.
have to look it
I'm
up
not a
and see what
technician,
it
in
is.
a sense, but yeah. So
Well,
you
all I
can
know,
get away with it, but it's not ideal. So and probably in different situations, different vehicles, different oil types, whatever, different driving conditions, yeah, you may experience different results than Jason there. So I mean, you could end up with a
I'm
lot
just
of
telling you.
engines, all types of. I mean,
Hey, it is a Ford, so
yeah, I know, and it's forgiving. It's like my old Chevy. I'm not gonna say I've gotten every oil change on time. I've been over, like you guys are saying, not extreme, but
yeah.
but
I'm
Hey,
not
yeah, it's
over.
hey,
I'm
bad
just barely
habit.
over. But time wise,
every
you know,
best thing about a Ford like mine, and every one I get, like every light on the dash is on, man. But it gets me to the exact same place you drive to too, man.
Yep.
So it's all right.
Yeah,
yeah.
my
But I'm
Chevy's
just
got
saying,
check
back
engine
when
light
we was
on.
kids, except for Rob's a baby. But back when we was younger kids, like you go buy oil 99 cents a quart, and it says 35,000 miles for oil change. Nowadays we got all this high tech, modern synthetic blend oil, and it's $6, $8 a quart, and they tell you it's only good for 3,500 or 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. The price
something's
of
wrong
oil is
here.
outrageous.
Oh, it's crazy. It's $6 for the no name cheap stuff. It's $8 to $11 for the name brand stuff.
Yeah. Well, the cheapest oil I'm good because I said I got to buy some. Cheapest oil that I found and everybody recommends, well, my buddies do, is go to goddamn Rural King. Buy their
Yeah.
brand, cheapest oil on the market right now.
Keep
If
in
you got a
mind that
Ford, buy Motorcraft Dura Blend and nothing else. You can get it like advanced or AutoZone. My Ranger out here has 370,000 miles on it. It's done that several times, going year and a half without the oil change. Change it, go another year and a half. Drive it every single day, winters, summers. Beat the hell out of this truck. That engine is 100% original. I think I changed the spark plugs once. I can't sure if it's still got the original plug wires on it or not. The only thing ever changed on that entire engine was the alternator twice and the battery. That's sitting on original. There's never been a bolt took loose on that engine. That's on its original timing, camshafts, every part in it. Nothing's ever been. Doesn't leak a drop. There's never had a bolt took loose on that engine for anything. Original power steering pumps, original water pumps, everything on that
Wow.
truck. And I ran into shit of it. Ford synthetic blend 5W20. Run it till you just feel like changing it one day. It's worked for me for like 15 years. Never had a single issue with that engine. Ever.
See,
Ever.
you could do that to yours, New York.
not
Buy
like that.
Ford. Buy Ford, man.
I've been over on my Chevy, like that's tougher, more durable in a sense, but in the end, it's still not good for it. But I definitely don't do that with my cars. I don't recommend people do that. The people that build your car and put recommendations out, and like Jason stating, 7,000, 9,000 miles. These people make money doing what? selling new cars, right? So, you know, as long as it passes their warranty, they don't give a shit. They probably want it to blow up. So, yeah, you can follow those recommendations because yeah, it's passable. They'll still warranty it at that level, but it doesn't mean it's technically ideal. So
Right.
you know,
But
I'm not one of
BMW,
those 1,000-mile guys. They have labs you can actually send your oil to, and if you want, you know, if you're really interested, you can go on, you know, YouTube here, look around, and you'll find out the condition and stuff. I mean, you can go check where people that are really into this. This has been like their job prior, and they do videos on it now and stuff. If I get a minute here, I'll remember a channel there where the guy is an actual like engineer guy that does all this stuff and you know sends it out to the lab, does all this stuff, and every oil change, and basically to check the health of his engine and the printouts you get and stuff. I mean, it makes a difference. So, you know, granted, you're covered, you're under warranty. The dealer says it's fine, but it's not recommended if you really want the best results for your vehicle. You know,
yeah,
you shouldn't push the limits
yeah.
because, like anything, it's metal moving against metal, moving parts. So. It doesn't matter if it's lubricated or not. There's going to be microscopic bits of metal that collect within your oil, and over time, it's getting pushed through and pumping, and it becomes sandpaper. So, yes, it
That's
still
what she
works,
said.
but it's gonna eventually. It's just the way things work. It's gonna wear out. You know, water cuts through stone after it passes over it for 100 years. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
Yeah, but tell you what, didn't BMW a few years ago make a car that you couldn't change the oil on it? It was sealed.
Well,
Probably.
actually, they're doing a lot of those where they're sealed now, which I've just been educated on. You know, they're telling you the mileage is so long, and now there's just electrical sensors that'll tell you when you need to do your oil change. But they're still expecting you to do an oil change at some point. So,
Yeah, transmissions have been sealed for years.
Yeah. But
yeah,
anyway,
standard.
I mean, that's the only reason I brought up the mileage on my truck because it's taken me 3 years to get 3,000 miles. So, hey, anyway, let's wind this up. It's almost 1:15 now, and I'm hungry. So, New York Outcast, you got any shout outs or plugs?
Yep. Eat a salad and change your oil. Right.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
They both do the same thing. It keeps you clean.
All right. Jason, you got anything?
Yeah. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
That works. That works. All right. Okay. I want to say thank you to everybody for being in the chat tonight. I really do appreciate you stopping by. I will be here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So with that, I'm going to say good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.